The 19-year-old man shot by Albuquerque police, a bike officer yesterday, was armed with a knife. Turns out it was a butter knife. News 13's Jim Winchester has reaction from the police department.
Diane, Police Chief Ray Schultz says there was no way to know exactly what kind of knife 19-year-old Chandler Barr was holding when he lunged at Officer Leah Kelly yesterday morning in downtown Albuquerque.
Albuquerque Police Chief Ray Schultz says the fact that Barr was only carrying a serrated butter knife similar to this one doesn't change a thing.
If someone's got, a weapon like that, the officer can't stop and say, wait, is that an edge weapon or is it a dull weapon? I mean, again, these decisions are being made in seconds.
Chief Schultz points out that the knife was obviously sharp enough for Barr to have cut his own wrists with, which is why the officers were called out in the first place. Two other factors to consider. Investigators say Officer Leah Kelly was on the scene for less than a minute when Barr charged at her, and he was exhibiting signs of being mentally unstable. Chief Schultz says officers and the general public are most at risk from people who are acting irrationally.
You can't rationalize with them very often in many cases, and if you do get into the point where you're trying to use a less lethal force option, it's ineffective.
Which is why Chief Schultz says not only will an officer resort to using a gun if seriously threatened, they will take center aim.
They're taught to shoot at center mass. And the purpose is to stop the action and get maximum stopping power.
Yesterday's incident brings the number of APD officer-involved shootings to 11 this year alone. The chief acknowledges that's a lot, but he dismisses any notion that officers in the field are too quick to fire their guns.
I'm not trigger happy at all. I think it's the opposite. I think what people should be concerned about is there's more and more assaults on police officers.
Now, Officer Leah Kelly was placed on standard paid administrative leave as the department investigates the exact circumstances surrounding that shooting. Diane, back to you.
Okay, Jim. APD says the number of incidents involving non-lethal force by its officers has risen the past few years. Officers have a variety of non-lethal options to use in the field, such as pepper spray, beanbag shotguns, and tasers.